Hello and welcome to this very first Eyes of Harmony we're going to try and do weekly podcast.
I mean, we have more time now.
Yes, because of everything going on, we can do this.
It's been an interesting 2 weeks since we last podcasted, hasn't it?
It's insane, isn't it? Absolutely crazy what's been happening.
The world's turned upside down.
It's very dystopian. So for those of you, anyone's coming back in time and watching this, obviously right now we're in the middle of the COVID-19.
Or, I mean, if you're like Jared Leto and it was like in a desert retreat or whatever he was doing and just came out, I was like, what on earth is going on?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like...
We'll just
he was like 14 days like away somewhere.
Just away.
He just comes out and he finds the world's like...
Wow, that would be a shock. I mean, like, yeah, or just be the Donald Trump and just go the Chinese virus, because he has to, feels like he has to put a bloody name on it and point the blame. But the world's crazy.
It's very old-fashioned. Like, I know they did it for Spanish flu, but like that was very much like pointing a finger at a country.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like a virus would have crept up from somewhere at some point and done this exact same thing. It's just so happened that it was, that's where it started. It's, just as many people's fault for the people traveling, all over when they could have been ill.
Yeah, not that some... Okay, we won't get into that. It's
crazy. Look, there's nobody's specific fault, and, you can't really point a blame at anyone.
Yeah, okay.
Just self-isolate and stay safe.
The Chinese government,
but
not the country as a whole. But, okay. So, anyway.
We were lucky that the Faceless Ones came out kind of just at the very start of this whole pandemic. We were blessed with a new animation from Patrick Troughton's first season, the Faceless Ones, which is...
Blessed is a little strong, but...
I feel blessed. I'm very happy they're still doing it. I think they could have easily kind of given up. Like, not gonna lie, the whole kind of Doctor Who fad, like, big kind of surrounding of it, like, I don't know, socially, I guess, like, kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's got smaller. Like, when it around the 50th, it made sense they were doing loads of animations because they were going to sell more, because it was the whole like, this is a Doctor Who birthday, and they found those missing episodes as well, so it was all kind of coming together and making sense. But I mean, like, that was 7 years ago, and like they didn't need to keep doing these animations.
I think they're going to struggle with like modern things, but I think like akin to stuff like Star Trek, I think what's going to keep it afloat in a lot of ways is going to be the merchandising and a lot of classic stuff. I think Big Finish is going to be important, and I think the fact that they are continuing to do stuff like the Blu-rays and the new the Blu-ray boxes, and the new DVD releases is kind of an indication that they want to keep that classic revenue going a little bit, just throughout everything else.
Who wouldn't really? But yeah, so we got the brand new animation. And I thought the box art is somewhat, I don't know, I felt maybe there could have been something a bit more to it. And
I like the phase, but the fact is that Patrick Troughton's art on it is just a drawn over like publicity art of Salamander from Enemy of the World.
Yeah.
Which is like...
It's a weird choice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of a bit lazy. Guys,
it's a weird one, isn't it? Like, especially at least choosing like the bad version of the Doctor in that story as well. Like that was the villain, that wasn't the Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. So it was Patrick Troughton, but
it's an odd one. But I'm glad, obviously, they're still doing the classic cover on the flip side, which is always every time.
Although
I get one.
Still the bottom of the back is still grey. They got it right in Power and like Sharda, and then they switched it for the last two releases. It's like, why?
So for those who don't know,
damn it, guys!
So for you guys,
the consistency is ruined.
So for those who don't know, on the back where there's kind of the ratings and everything, do you want to get an example up? For those you can see, I'm gonna visually explain it.
For Power of the Daleks, they did the white bottom here.
So where the barcode is
it's clean.
and the
it's
rating
like
is.
All the other old classic ones are. And then you look at Faceless Ones and Macroterra, and they did that for Sharda as well. And you look at like Macroterra and Sharda, and they do like the grey bottoms like they did in the later release DVDs, which they usually in most of those later release DVDs had the option of switching it over to the backside and having the white bottom of the cover anyway. So it's like if the collector wanted to keep his collection consistent, you could not do that. Because they don't allow you to do that. Because they decided to put the bottom as grey.
You could, I guess, you could try and print your own out. It's okay, yeah. So for those who
I just need to let that out.
For those who visually
me for ages and get your act together, BBC. Doctor Who's ruined.
This is what self-isolation is doing to the fans. So for those who can't see at the back where the barcode is in the rating, that has been kind of had the background of white for most of classic era, but recently they've made it grey. It does blend somewhat better in my opinion, but the issue is when all of the classics have been white, it kind of it just throws it off.
I found the white was easier to read though. Like if it
who reads
like the
that,
blend,
though?
because they have like a distinct thing for the includes and whatnot,
Yeah.
where it's like easier to read. Like if you have this, and they
Do you
have
ever
white
read
bits
the
for
bottom bit?
anyway. So it's like if you just have that whole covered in the whole bit of white, that's much more aesthetically pleasing than having a few white bubbles of squares.
Bubbles of squares.
Bubbles of
There you go. Heard it here first. I don't think anyone's ever said bubbles of squares before in my life. But,
it probably
maybe you're the
happened-
first in existence to have said bubbles of squares in white. Wouldn't that be a feat? Wouldn't that be such a accomplishment to be the first person to ever say those specific words?
squares and whites.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, it's because the issue is because they do the main cover, which you get first is the whole, it's the whole DVD case. It's like the movie poster, and that's why you don't have the option of the two sides, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah. But like I said, most people who care about having the cover like this are going to be the same people who care about having consistency for the back of it. And like I said, they did it for power. They did it for power, and they did it for Sharda. Why did they suddenly decide to go back to the grey?
Chibnall took over. That's what happened. I mean, you can see it on the DVDs. The whole on this one, there's that Doctor Who, the with the new logo in there. I mean, these they have the new logo on it. On the stem, it has the new logo.
Wasn't that already the same before? That was with Macroterra as well, actually.
Yeah, with Macroterra. The two since Chibnall took over, basically.
Yeah. No, but the whole classic branding is gone. That's been the case for a while. I mean, I think I pointed this out when it first happened because I think it was my copy of the Time War Part 2. Like, Time War Part 1 had the classic cover, and then when I got my Time War... 8th Doctor Time War, sorry, my big finish. It was suddenly the new cover.
The steelbooks are the one which annoyed me, actually. The steelbook stems. So for those who aren't completely in the loop, so they've been recently, kind of from about 2 years ago, been re-releasing kind of series 1 and then onwards in these really gorgeous steel book kind of artworks. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they did the first 3 with the classic Doctor Who logo, like the classic, and now and then from series 4 they changed it to the bloody new logo, and it just looks so awful on the shelves. Because it's like, the reason why I was getting these steelbooks is so I had a really nice consistency between, so I had all the classics as they are, and then just steelbooks it would be then there, and because they're Blu-ray as well, because I had them all on DVD, but I wanted, nicer. But it's so frustrating because it's like, it's kind of ugly now that there's no consistency between the two, which kind of then defeats the whole point of why I was getting them. So it's like, well, was there any point? I guess because they're Blu-ray, and the artwork still is beautiful. Like I just got the Series 5 one, and that is gorgeous artwork. I need to actually watch that.
Very nice.
But yeah, so that frustrates me. But in terms of like the DVD, I was impressed with the amount that they actually gave us on it for the Faceless Ones. I'm glad that they had the option to play with the original 2 episodes.
Yes, that was my biggest concern, because I remember we talked about this when it was first revealed, and they were saying like 6 new animated episodes, but the other content will be in there, and it's like, yeah, I was concerned that it'd be like, okay, you can either watch with the old animation or the new animation, or the 2 existing episodes with like teleslaps. From what they were talking about, they never advertised there was a way to kind of mix and match and have the 2, So I was like, I think that was the first thing I posted to you, like talking about it, was like, I'm so happy because they did the thing. So
yeah. Oh yeah. When Conrad first got it, he messaged me being like, hey, you can play them with the actual episodes, which I always do. Now, this is my interesting thing. Did you watch the animation in black and white or color?
Black and white.
Yeah, same. I don't want to watch it in color. I feel like it's just wrong for that era. Like, the first 2 Doctors, they're black and white to me, and that's how I see them.
And 4:3.
And 4:3, yeah.
Again, yeah, I like it as a supplement to the original episodes, but to kind of have it as close as it can be. So just in terms of like the restrictions they have in terms of the way they animate it, but as well as that, the frame and everything in it, I think should kind of keep to that.
Is color in 16:9 then?
Yeah, there was a widescreen. Yeah.
Really? Oh wow. Yeah. No, that would look wrong.
Yeah. I think originally, I think for Power of the Daleks, because originally I think it was just made in black and white, and then I think it was BBC America commissioned the color for that. And I guess they kind of now decided to kind of do it from the offset. Maybe.
Yeah, I only watched Macroterra in black and white. I don't want to see them in color, because the point to me of watching these animations is to see what has been lost. And obviously, if I had the choice of animation or the original, I'd always choose the original. Whether, like, I know in the Macroterra they updated it a lot and added loads of macro in that actually looked good and like real crabs. Obviously the original was this big clunky thing, it didn't look good, but it has the charm of that's what I want to see. So it's like I'm watching it in color, and it's like, well, what's the point in watching, to me, I understand if people who do watch it, I'm interested in actually how many people watch it in color and how many people watch it in black and white. And I always find it weird that they animate episodes which already exist. Why are you animating episodes 1 and 3 when
I guess
it's just a waste of time to me? Like, what?
I guess they're thinking of newcomers who might want that consistency, maybe, or like the younger viewers who may not want to watch grainy black and white footage.
But then why would they be watching Doctor Who anyway? Like to me, it wouldn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think they do a great work. Like, that's nothing against their work. That's nothing against these very talented creators. I was watching the behind the scenes documentary, which was fantastic and really, really interesting to see how they did it. And yeah, their work is absolutely incredible. And I'm very thankful that they're doing this, because like listening to the audios is really hard to pay attention to what's happening. And,
you kind of need to kind of flex your imagination a fair amount with a lot of those. Although I always find with those, I always like to kind of close my eyes and picture it to just kind of get that sense of the episode. I always get going
sleepy. When I had the Myth Makers, I had that CD, and I got really, really tired on that one. Just cause...
I remember I used to as a kid. Like, I remember when I was like a young kid listening to Dalek Empire and stuff through I listened to them on my CD player in the evenings. I would get quite sleepy while doing that. I don't so much anymore. Actually, if anything, it kind of keeps me awake more than anything.
Even
when I'm just lying in bed, just like lights off, listening to it.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So that's that. But yeah, I thought it was a very solid Yeah, nice DVD. Very happy. It's crazy to see the DVD with the Faceless Ones on the spine, and the classic one.
Yeah.
These are things
it's so nice that we're just filling in Patrick Troughton's era so much, like particularly for that first season.
I remember when I had all of his DVDs before 2013. I remember looking at them on the shelf and being like, this is just sad. So many missing. And it's crazy that there's more of his missing than like William Hartnell. Like, it mind boggles me that, it wasn't the very beginning that went missing, which you'd think would happen. It was, it was like dip for Paul Patrick.
I guess you can't be choosy though with that.
It's crazy.
But yeah, you'd imagine if you would have thought that the older stuff would have been less, desired, but I guess not. I think a lot of, of course, the original, like a lot of them were recovered from scrap originally.
Yeah, Ian Levine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Legend, saving the Daleks or something, like, about to be so crazy.
It's weird how we're missing so many important episodes, yet we managed to keep the unaired pilot.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Which was assumed to have been destroyed beforehand.
10th Planet, episode 4, nah. The pilot? Yes. That's like the Drake meme where it's like, nah, 10th Planet, episode 4. Unearthly Child pilot. Yeah. But Christ, I mean, Fury from the Deep next. I'm very surprised that they announced what it was before.
I guess it's because it's coming out
later this year.
Like, because they usually do it like one a year, right? But I think 2 are coming out. Wait, Fury from the Deep's coming out this year.
Yeah, it's coming out later this year.
This is meant to be. Who knows at this point? But yeah,
I'm sure it will
I
be.
think they announced it because we're getting 2 in a year, so we might as well announce it beforehand. So they've now got multiple studios, working on these like one after another. So I mean that's exciting because we could get 2 next year as well, and then it's going to build up faster, so you can get like more episodes and fill in that collection more and more and more.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see how far they go with it.
What do you think will be after that?
What?
After Fury from the Deep.
Oh, after Fury from the Deep. Well, by the pattern they've been doing it, they've been doing a lot of I wouldn't say lesser episodes necessarily, but some of the less significant ones.
Isn't it more I don't know what's easier though?
And that too. We did do a whole podcast about this. I can't actually remember what exactly I put down for it though, because I thought about it a lot and then I just dumped that information.
Got rid of it. That's that podcast done. Wipe your hands clean.
Basically, yeah. That's me in like shows, like whenever I'm doing like theatre shows and whatnot. That's the same thing too. It's like I'll look at the script. I'll look at the script like a year later and be like, this is completely alien to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. I think I remember like my one opening line of one school play.
I remember some checkered lines, but that's because I rewatched it.
Checkered landlines, you mean?
What did I say?
You said checkered lines.
Checkered lines.
Yeah.
I told you not to call me that.
What a line. Mine was who's cooking onions. Who's cooking onions was my opening line in a
I'm just trying to see if I can find
crazy. But yeah.
I might have noted. I put it on notes actually. I might not even have it here.
Who knows?
Never mind. Anyway, we should probably talk about the episodes because it's.
I mean, I want Marco Polo. That's the one I want the most. I think actually, in terms of like completionist sake, because I just want to see that on my shelves. The whole of the first season complete.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I need to go and get Carol Ann to sign the new one. It was because currently I have all of the episodes signed currently. So
nice,
including the 5 Doctors. So.
Well, hey, look at you.
but yeah, just say like if I get a new one, I have to go to another convention. If we ever get to go to another convention,
they're all getting closed down, aren't they? Bedford, the one we usually go to, is closed. Not that we're going this year. Could go later actually. Though. No, it's the end of the year.
Well, Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But
I mean, I didn't. We were thinking we weren't. Well, I guess we have to discuss that later about
be a
figuring
different
out.
time. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish they do enough for William Hartnell one. They're kind of giving a lot of love to.
Well, they've only given love to Patrick Troughton and Tom Baker, of course.
Yeah, I thought the Shadow one
haven't
was
gotten
such
any
a
William
weird choice,
Hartnells.
but it's because they wanted him to voice it, didn't they?
Yeah, of course. They need to get that
Yeah.
there somewhere before, while they still can. So
Yeah. And they did that nice little scene at the end.
yeah.
That was cute. But
I guess
Toymaker. That's the one I want. That one as well.
No, they'll be doing like. They'll probably start with some again less significant ones. So maybe they'll do like.
I mean, there's the Highlanders, but they kind of skip.
They'll do the Massacre or something.
They skip the Highlanders. Abominable Snowman would be awesome. I love the Target novel for that one. That was a really awesome one.
I mean, Patrick Troughton, there's so many excellent ones.
But
and like I said, they're going the less significant ones they could have done for Patrick Troughton at the minute. But
the other ones will sell better. But so like, I think maybe they're doing like, let's do the. Like,
I mean, we got a bit of Real in Space, but we didn't get the whole.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
The whole of that.
Why would you do 7 minutes?
That can't be it. It's got to
be
like
working on in the background or something. Yeah. I mean, why don't we do everyone's most wanted one, the Space Pirates?
And we all say na 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 na. Space Pirate, na 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 na. Space Pirate.
That's too new for me. I do not know what the hell you're on about.
It was a. So this is something like many years ago. When my siblings were like babies, there was a show on CBeebies called Space Pirates, and it was basically like a intergalactic flying space pirate radio station
with the Doctor in black and white from 1969. Yeah, it's a shame that most of Patrick Troughton's last season exists because it's definitely his weakest one.
No, I think the first one is weaker, to be honest. Like, it's inconsistent.
Actually,
especially when you had Ben, Polly, and Jamie, a lot of episodes pacing and the way it balanced is just so odd. Like, Power was good, but then Underwater Menace and the Macra Terror and the first episode of this actually are just kind of odd to watch. They don't really feel like they don't really work in regards to pacing and dialogue in quite the same way as you feel like it should.
This one was a whole lot better than Macra Terror. I really didn't enjoy Macra Terror, sadly.
Like I said, Faceless Ones, I think part one's a bit weird, but then beyond that, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got really into the plot, actually. Not that we'll talk about that too much. We'll save it for our proper review. But I thought it was a very solemn ending for Ben and Polly. Like, they kind of just, all right, we'll go. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
kind of just
they weren't like convinced. This wasn't like we absolutely want to go. It's just like, this is a coincidence.
The day we left.
Should we?
Yeah, I kind of like that. Like, I wish they'd do that nowadays and not have the Doctor always constantly go back to them. You know, like, that's the thing. And imagine if a newer episode they're like, I'm just gonna go, and that's it. And the Doctor's like, okay. And then just never.
I mean, to be fair, they initially tried to close Rose Tyler in an alternate dimension. That was pretty somber. But then
the whole episode was tear jerking and everything. The Doctor was crying. Like, the Doctor's like chill with it in this. This is like what I mean. It's like, I'll miss him, but like, you know, that's it.
Yeah, it's clearly a bit, like conflicted himself. It's a bit like, but he's like, yeah. And then they're like, whoa! He's like, whoa! And I'm like, whoa.
What a description. He was like, but then he was like, yeah. If you ever have to explain the end of Ben and Polly's story, please describe it to someone. The Doctor's like, and he was like, yeah.
So here's my summary of War and Peace. So they were like, yeah.
And they were like, And I was like, whoa. Crazy book, man. Crazy times. So yeah, I guess Fury from Deep. I wonder if we'll find out what the next one is before this one's released, or what.
Probably.
Because it is strange because they're kind of jumping around like Macro Terror and Faceless Ones. That's one right after the other, but then they didn't do Evil of the Daleks, which is what we were assuming they would do until they announced Fury from the Deep. It's like they're just doing all the companion leaving stories, aren't they? I mean, Victoria leaves in
Error and Charter.
No. But I just meant like they've done 2 of them now.
2 in a row, yeah.
Yeah. Faceless Ones and Fury from the Deep. That's them leaving. That's it. Then I think we'll have every single companion leaving story. Oh no, Stephen.
Poor
Peter Purves.
Yeah.
I think now he is the worst run. I think of not on DVD.
I guess technically we don't have Sarah Kingdoms.
Oh yeah.
Will I count
she's
her?
She's a weird, like, yeah, she's kind of both.
Which I do like to counter. Counter.
That's fair. I mean, Stephen, we have Time Meddler, and then like Nothing, the Ark, Gunfighters, and that's it.
The Ark is so underrated.
Ark is banging, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah. Like,
I really enjoy it.
It's honestly one of Partnell's best, to be honest. And like nobody ever talks about it.
It's a very interesting story. I really enjoyed her. It's like two halves.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool and very underrated. I remember when I first watched it on VHS and got it in the William Hartnell box set, which had the Gunfighters, the Ark, and what was the other one in it? There was another one. I can't remember what it was now. The Time Meddler.
Oh.
It was like the William Hartnell box set, and it was like this kind of weird kind of vertical box. You kind of flip the lid open. Still got it. Which my uncle gave me, and very cool. And yeah, that's when I first saw it. No, wait, was that part of that box set? I don't think it was. No, the Sensorites was part of that box set. No, I just got the Ark separately, but I think that was the last VHS I got. The Ark. And I put it in, so I used to have this tiny TV that I used to watch a lot of the VHSs on. It was no bigger. It was a 3x4 TV, and it was probably about no bigger than that. Like it was small. I had a video kind of slide underneath the screen and everything. Very last VHS I got to watch, breaks the machine. I literally like we had to like try and jam out the VHS so it wasn't stuck in there. And that was the end of that TV. Sadly, it almost got me through every single VHS of Doctor Who that I was ever given. It was that very last one that it tripped. Which was kind of gutting in a bit. Like, I watched so much Doctor Who on that. On that TV. A lot of memories. I had a little kind of weird metal stand in my room. So I had like a TV in my room which couldn't really use anything. You could play the Wii on it. It had like not all 3 of those wires that you could put in. You know, the red, the yellow, and the white. I think I could put in the red and the white. That was not like the yellow, which just had that extra music, bass line and stuff. Nothing completely needed. But we never realised what it did until we put it on a TV which had all 3. And then we heard like an extra bit of music in there somewhere. We're like, what the fuck? Me and my sister were so like thrown back. Like, whoa, this is
that
crazy.
Cable did something?
Yeah.
They didn't put it there as a decoration?
We thought maybe it was like a speed. I mean, like we were younger anyway. But yeah, that TV got me for a lot of Doctor Who. And good memories. Good memories. And But
we
yeah,
had quite a small TV for VHS. We used to have it in the living room, and then like all in a day, our VHSs were more or less purged and the TV thrown out, and and then it was all gone, just like a space per day. And a lot of stuff were thrown out, and stuff which shouldn't have been thrown out got thrown out. Thanks, Mum.
He's bitter about that.
I think no, it's not just for me, but I think my dad was particularly upset because I think one of his music performances was on there, when he was young, it got thrown out. So it's like, oof. That's rough. I only have one VHS. I think we only have one VHS in the whole house because I got my VHS of Revenge of the Cybermen somewhere. and that's it.
Absolute perv.
Which is like just one movie-length version of Revenge of the Cybermen, which
that's
is
the one I
weird.
had as well. That's the one I had. Maybe I think I got rid of it.
It's weird. What like it doesn't even advertise
it
like
for
that.
a couple. They did that for Day of the Daleks, and they did it for that one as well.
Yeah.
And I think they did the Robots of Death version as well. If you look on that VHS, if you have the original box, you'll see they kind of did this kind of style of artwork on it. And
hang on, I might be able to bring it out even.
You got it?
Hang on, just give me a sec.
Go get it. And in this interlude. Oh, okay. There it is! Wow, how did you do that? That's crazy. Movie magic. So if you open up the case, maybe inside, you might be able to see.
What?
Oh, you've got see, mine's a different one. Mine's like white case, and it's got like slightly. So actually check quickly if the paper that the sleeve isn't double-sided, because sometimes they had adverts on the other side of the actual artwork sleeve. Or is it just clear?
Just clear.
Oh, that's a shame. So if you show the cover anyway. So they kind of did this kind of style of VHS, which were kind of movie versions. So they got rid of the credits and like the intro credits for episodes 2 and 3 and the opening of 4. And basically it played through like a whole movie, which they are movie length. They're, an hour and a half. But I remember the first time I watched, I think maybe it was Day of the Daleks or something. I got really thrown off because it suddenly ended. I was like, wow, this is a long episode. This is a really long episode. And then it ended. I was like, oh, wait, that's the whole story.
Yeah, I remember that the first time as well, actually. Before I had the money or the capacity to actually can have all like the DVDs I have now. Before I had more money than sense, basically. My dad actually spent time to basically convert this to DVD. But not only that, he created like a menu for it and then cut up the episodes as they would be and had it like in a DVD menu to where it would actually go to those points. So he actually created like a proper DVD out of this and created like the intros and like the quality isn't the best still because just a rip from an old VHS, which this was given to me by a helper I had in year 6 who got it out the attic from her son. So
there's someone out there who's like, that's my fucking VHS. This shit's got my VHS. My mum gave it away.
She also lent me copies of Big Finish, the Cybermen series, which was really good and had David Tennant in it as well, actually.
Hey, nice. But yeah. So I guess news at the minute with the whole coronavirus going on is that Series 13 might be delayed in production, which is great because it's just going to be even later than it already would have been.
Yeah.
Whoop-de fucking do. There we go. So now they have an excuse to whatever time it comes out and be like, oh, well, the coronavirus delayed us. Really?
Died us.
Delayed us. And, sorry. And whatever. I don't see it coming out until autumn of next year. I think we've got a year and a half now. We'll have the special. And then they'll be like, oh, I don't know. It's frustrating. I can't remember. I was watching one video or something from a relatively good source or something, and it was saying about like that the BBC wish they could make more episodes of Doctor Who a year than they are currently. Like they
I'm sure they are, but again, they hired Chris Chibnall to be the authority on that, and this is what he decided. Crazy.
It's a shame because, you'd think, oh, well, maybe it's budget constraints, but it sounds like they're kind of throwing money at it. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. So I think Series 13 will be delayed. Even though it's just pre-production, you could do it all by emails and Zoom calls. Sorry, tired. Long days. You can do it all by Zoom calls and stuff like. So it's not like they're shooting at any time soon. They should be in the writing phase anyway. Or at least you'd hope at this point almost finished writing the scripts. Like, I don't know. Do you think that they just like relax when the series is coming out and just chill out? Because to me it's I get confused because it's like, well, you could be using these 10 weeks to be getting the next series ready.
Well, you'd imagine they'd at least give themselves maybe a few weeks off, but yeah, it's like...
I mean, the amount of days holiday you get a year, usually, is 21. 21 kind of days or something, I think, to book off. So that's like 3.5 weeks, if you're not counting weekends, booking Monday to Friday off, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, even if they booked off all their holiday for as soon as the series comes out, that's by week 4, they should be writing again and, working on stuff. So it's like, what, are they taking 10-week holidays and being like, oh, hey, now you got to pay us?
Well,
I don't know.
I think
it's an interesting one.
And that's assuming the series, though, is finished by the time they start airing them.
Even if it's not, like, Chibnall's not sat in the edit, doing the edit himself.
No.
Like, the people at the top and the other writers can be writing while yes, he needs to watch it and check the episodes fine, but all he has to do is watch it for 45 minutes, put half a day out, and he only writes half of the series, so why aren't the other writers getting their bits done and ready?
Hey, it takes a long time to figure out the best way to piss off a fan base.
That's true. To be honest, I think I could do it pretty quickly by basically doing what he did. Like, that is the kind
True.
of... If I wanted to piss off a fan base in Doctor Who, that's what I would have done. That's actually quite interesting. What would you do now at this point? If you took over Doctor Who now, and you had to piss off a whole fan base, what would you do?
God.
What would you do?
Ooh. That's a good question. If I intentionally wanted to piss off the fan base...
Intentionally. Purposely piss everyone off.
Then... Oh, God. I don't know quite how far I dare to go. All previous Doctors were just a fever dream. None of it happened. It's a coma theory. Doctor's been... It's just a kid in a coma.
Oh, no. Okay, that's no. You can't go to a ridiculous state that it would end the whole show. It was a kid that wakes up in a hospital, has a kidney transplant, and that's it. No. It's got to be like a story point which you can continue the universe. It doesn't completely like break it, but it ruins the canon. Because I could be like, I just kill everyone. I kill the Doctor, he gets beheaded. Like, that would ruin it quite quickly. But like, you were trying to do a good job, but failed, and it pissed off a fan base. You know what I mean? Just do a current writing team.
With the Doctor now having multiple cycles, the twist is it turns out the Master was one of them.
Oh yeah, that would be shite, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That would be shite. Yeah, that would be bad.
The Master was a Doctor all along.
Yeah, that would be... Oh, God. And that's how the Doctor knew how to defeat the Master every single time, because subconsciously the Doctor knew. Oh, that would be so shit. That would be awful, wouldn't it? I'm thinking I'd have it like something to do with like the name of the Doctor and how we got given it. Something really shit, though. Like, his actual name is Doctor. He's not hiding anything. His name is Doctor.
His real name's Doctor Who.
His real name is Doctor Who. Because who means healer in Gallifreyan. Or some shit like that. I don't know. What else could you do? Oh, change the exterior of the TARDIS. Indefinitely. Or destroy the TARDIS so it's not the same TARDIS anymore. It's a different time machine. That would piss everyone off.
Yeah, the original TARDIS went. Yeah.
I think you could do an interesting thing where the TARDIS gets blown up and then the Doctor has to build it again from like the coral, like that deleted scene in Journey's End where smart Donna gives Rose and the Metacrisis Doctor like a bit of a TARDIS. And she's like, oh, you know, hyperlink the something and something the binary. And basically she makes it amazing so that they could grow it quickly. Like, it'd be cool if, like, I don't know, something like that happened. Like, the TARDIS actually gets destroyed for a bit. Like, in a story, the Doctor has to sacrifice the whole TARDIS. Not just the Big Bang where he explodes the whole TARDIS in the middle of the sun and it resets the universe or whatever that is, because then the TARDIS didn't get destroyed. Like, it didn't. I mean, like, the TARDIS properly destroyed, like, Doctor's stranded somewhere and has to regrow his TARDIS. That could be an interesting thing. I don't think that would piss people off particularly, because it would still be the same TARDIS.
Yeah. I just think it's stuff along Gallifrey lines, but I mean, it could be anything, really.
That's pretty much done. So, like, the Doctor is every single companion that's ever existed.
But Clara's every single companion that's ever existed.
Yes, Clara. Clara is the Doctor. Clara is actually the final incarnation of the Doctor. And that's how she could survive going in the Doctor's time stream, because she was just in her own time stream.
That creates so many paradoxes.
It's so easy to destroy Doctor Who, isn't it? And yet they do it every time.
The Files were secret, and the Carlas were secretly Time Lords to begin with.
Yeah, something like that. Some shit. The Master one, that would be awful. Oof. Oof. So I watched a good video. Full Fat Milk is a great channel, and they somewhat said along the same lines of the Timeless Child. Like, he likes the concept of the Timeless Child, and the Time Lords taking this child and experimenting on it to get the regenerative powers. That's really in character for the Time Lords to do, and then try and cover it up. But yeah, basically agreed with us where, you know, it's awful that it's had to be the Doctor. Why the Doctor doesn't need to be special? That's it. Like,
as I said, he could have picked someone more interesting.
And he really he delved into it a bit more, and it would be like, wouldn't it be interesting if, like, then the Doctor felt like she shouldn't regenerate because it's not her birthright, you know, it was a stolen. You could go down this whole cycle of, like, well, do we have a right to regenerate? And, like, then about, like, the context of the Master being like, oh, you know, well, I still want to live, I still want to regenerate, but I disagree with what they did, and that's why I burnt down Gallifrey, like, because the Doctor and the Master agreed for us. I was like, they went really well, so I really suggest anyone listening to go watch that video, because I think it explains definitely my feelings towards it.
It explains what I was trying to get across more coherently, I think. Because sometimes I can waffle.
Yeah.
And I can be a bit jumpy and not fully explain my points. I know. I try.
But, I mean, he writes it as a video essay, you know, has time to
yeah, that's true.
essayify it. But, like, yeah, really, you know, it really, like, just listen to it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. I'm completely fine with the Timeless Child concept. Actually, I really like that concept. And, like, you know, the Doctor then trying to find this Timeless Child or something. Maybe it turns out that the Timeless Child was Susan or something. I could have got on board with that, like, Susan being the Timeless Child, somewhat. Like, because sometimes to me, I feel like I find it weird that the Doctor had a family. Why did he completely abandon his children? What's the story there? Why did he take the granddaughter and not the others? So, I don't know. It would have been interesting if maybe the Doctor found the Timeless Child, it was Susan, and then the Doctor puts it in the first Doctor's care and be like, you need to look after, you know, this child. Like, this is your grandchild now. Or something interesting like that. And that's the whole loop. And then the Time Lords were coming after Susan. So then they left Gallifrey. So they did run away, but, you know. Like, and that's why then they settled on Earth, because she needed stability. Yeah. It works within Susan's, like, plotline. It doesn't make her any less of the Doctor's granddaughter. He still loves her dearly, you know, like, just because, like, blood, you know, is thicker, you know, whatever. Like, that to me doesn't matter. It's like, if you look after a child for long enough, that's your child, you know, like.
Yes, it depends on how much they want to step on Big Finish's toes. Because I think currently they're promoting a thing where, like, this Susan gets called up to the Time War. Not to fight, but just to help out. They're doing, like, an audio adventure for that.
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends. Maybe not all the Time Lords know that Susan is the Timeless Child. Maybe it was a select few who were coming after her. You know, you could always write around it to fit everything, but I think that would have been a way more interesting arc that Susan was the Timeless Child in this one, because then, you know, and then it could have been a nice reintroduction. You know, young, regenerated
Or as I said, like an evil Time Lord that's like, after having been tortured for so long, is bitter and enraged at the Time Lords for their horrific treatment.
Yeah.
Like I said, not necessarily Morbius, but someone in Morbius's mold.
Yeah,
or maybe
like that.
But someone.
But that's.
Although, we never got a reason for a lot of that.
But yeah. So yeah, I guess kind of to wrap this up, we're just gonna suggest, while you're all hopefully self-isolating and keeping everyone safe and washing your hands to Happy Birthday twice. I think actually the Doctor Who theme is the same length as Happy Birthday, like the 20 seconds. I think the Doctor Who intro is about 20 seconds, isn't it? The like classic.
The opening.
Yeah, the classic opening. Mm-hmm. I wonder actually. Let me get up the YouTubes and see actually just how long the Doctor Who theme is. First Doctor. So the issue is if they've put an extended version on.
Yeah.
First Doctor intro. It is. Wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah, about 20 seconds. Yeah. 25-ish seconds. There we go. Do it to the Doctor Who theme. The very first Doctor. The first Doctor's theme. Wash your hands to that. There we go. For any Whovian. If you're getting bored of Happy Birthday, do the theme in your head. But yeah, we're just going to suggest kind of...
Or Will Swiggle.
Or Will Swiggle. Duh, 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 duh. Yeah, whatever.
Because that we found that was the same length as the version of the Doctor Who theme that we used for our intro. So when we were making an intro once, we overlaid Will Swiggle instead.
Because it came out pretty good. I mean, for the time, it was a decent intro for my shitty camera and Windows.
That nobody ever saw and has been lost to the ether.
Yeah, my computer sadly crashed and was lost. But positivity now. These are some good episodes to watch during your time ill, because Netflix obviously has all of them. If you're one of those strange people who has BritBox, then it's on BritBox. I mean, does anyone pay for that? Who knows? Not me.
Somebody must.
Some people must, but yes. So for classics, I would always shout out my big love to the Aztecs. That's a really great historical story, and it's got really good pacing. And if you want to see some early days of Doctor Who, without having to see the beginning one, because An Earthly Child is a bit slow, it's not the best story. But if you want,
episode 1 is good to watch. Yes. Beyond that,
then it's kind of a weird caveman.
You're best off skipping the rest of it. But if episode 1's solid.
If you want to see the beginning, then watch all 4. But if you want to hit when Doctor Who's more in its stride, then the Aztecs is a really nice 4-parter, just to dip your toes into that era of Doctor Who. Because the Daleks is really good, but it's 7 episodes. So But I mean, if you got self-isolating time, maybe you want to try it. But the Aztecs is my first Doctor.
Are we just picking from Doctors?
Yeah, I think we'll just do one from each Doctor. Okay. So what would you...
I guess my favourite William Hartnell episode would be the Time Meddler.
I knew you got that one. Banging choice. Great choice.
It's a very great choice.
It's a really good one.
It does interesting stuff with its time travel concept. It's a fun setting, and the meddling mump is a wonderful villain.
First ever Time Lord that you ever see.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Although it was never mentioned to be at that point in time.
Yeah, it's crazy that they haven't done them since, actually. The meddling monk, at least.
Yeah, beyond the Daleks' master plan.
Okay, right. I know who you're going to choose for Patrick Troughton. So
yeah,
I'm going to choose...
I mean, should I just be a bit different and just...
No. Okay. The Mind Robber is really, really different. I really, really love the Mind Robber. Yeah, Mind Robbers are really nice. Only 20 minutes per episode, because there was supposed to be 6, but they were having production issues at the time or something, and they had to cut basically an episode out. Or no, they added an episode in, didn't they? Yeah, I think that was it. They added an episode in because the Dominators came out to be only 5 episodes or something due to script issues. I think that was it. Yeah. So they had to basically quickly make an extra episode, which is why the first episode is written by Derek Sherwin, and then Peter Ling writes the rest, because they basically added in a whole beginning. But really good, really crazy. Kind of goes into like quite good for kids as well. I'd say this one, because it kind of goes into the land of like books and stories and characters from books coming alive. And I do actually really want to watch that again quite soon, because that is one actually I really, really enjoy it and doesn't get enough credit. I think I gave it like a 9 or 10 when I actually did the podcast review. Those are many years ago in our first batch. So yeah, mine, Robert.
It was many years ago. Gosh, well, of course, for Patrick Charlton, my favourite is Tomb of the Cybermen, but I don't know if I want to talk about that now, although I never really talked about it on this channel, really, because I've always kind of somewhat intensely held off just in case we were, whenever we do a deep dive on that, but when will that happen? If we keep holding it off, it's never going to happen.
We should probably do it at some point soon. I think we're ready.
We should just get it out there.
Yeah.
Like, cause,
our bodies are ready.
Like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I love the episode a great deal. Well, because it's one that's quite nostalgic to me. I mean, yeah, it's more for personal reasons. I can see, some of the flaws in it. There's a couple of moments watching it again now where it's a bit like, But I love kind of how creepy the whole thing is. It's just this kind of, I guess, like this dangerous game of mousetrap they're playing throughout, where like there's dangers around every corner, and Cybermen themselves are pretty terrifying. I mean, I know it's the same design that they had in the moon base, but the way they're lit here, particularly when you look at like the eyes and stuff, they are quite terrifying and intimidating throughout. And yeah, I just loved the design of everything, and it had some really nice moments in the script, and it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to give another tiny shout out to Enemy of the World, which is an incredibly good story. If you like spies and stuff, that one's a really, really fun one to watch.
Easily my second favorite Patrick Charlton, Enemy of the World.
War Games is very good, but very long. 10 episodes.
Yeah, it is too. Also, shout out to the Ice Warriors as well.
Which also isn't very good. There's a lot of very good.
There is.
But okay, John Pertwee. Do you know what your one which you're gonna go with?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, actually, I'm just looking at my ranking because I decided I was gonna go for a rank like every 2 episodes just so I could have like a clear. Okay, this is how I think about it. This is how I think about it in the concept of an era. Like, I don't expect everyone to. It took a very long time, so.
Yeah, I'm not got around to that yet.
No. I wouldn't recommend it.
If I ever do that, it's because I'm going to be watching every single episode from like Unearthly Child. I'm going to watch each one. Boof.
Yeah, I think I'll change things around, going forward and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, my favorite John Pertwee episode, and actually one of my favorite episodes, period, is Spearhead from Space. Funnily enough,
it is
I know it's the first episode, but it's incredibly good. Like, I love its writing, its production values. I think they filmed the whole thing on film because.
There was a lot
they
of
were mostly
shooting,
outside shots.
On location.
Makes the episode look incredibly good, and in retrospect, of course, they were able to convert to Blu-ray, and it looks incredible. The threat is really prominent and effective. The Autons were great, and how the way they were introduced, like, it's quite a dark episode. I always kind of gravitate towards darker episodes, really. So, yeah, I just love it. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. Like, yeah.
Nice. For me, the Daemons, absolutely banging episode. I remember me and my mum, I just got it on DVD. I think we were watching through them, basically. I think I just got Enemy of the World and Web of Film. We kind of were just then watching kind of just through. And we got to the Daemons. I remember we watched episode 1. And we like looked at each other like after the credits, like as like the cliffhanger came. I was like, "What the fuck? That was sick!" It's like the first episode of The Daemons is awesome. It's really, really good. It's like cult, dark as well, kind of more dark. Yeah. Roger Delgado is on bloody form. We got the classic line, "Chat with the wings there, 5 rounds rapid" from the Brigadier. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great episode.
It is great.
Couple of shout outs. Mind of Evil. That's a good one.
Excellent. I would say the Silurians, but at the minute, I'm not sure it's a great story to watch given our current situation.
Ambassadors of Death is actually quite good. Actually, all of his first seasons are really solid choice.
Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
That is
later on.
It's got
it's
some
incredible. Like I know. Get past the dinosaurs. It's a great story.
I need to watch more of it. Actually, I need to watch it again. I think. And the Three Doctors is very fun. That's a fun one. If you want a multi-doctor fun, that one's probably the strongest of the classic era. Still, actually, I'd say. In terms of story.
Well, just for fun.
No, just for story. I think the Three Doctors is a stronger one than the Five Doctors.
Oh, well, compared to the Five Doctors, yeah,
I'm saying in the classic era or the multi-doctor.
Kind of all over the place.
In the multi-doctor stories is what I'm saying, like that.
Yeah.
I think the Three Doctors.
I think it's the best thing Bob Baker and Dave Martin ever wrote for the show. Yep. I'm really not for the most of their work.
Yeah. What about the Sontaran Experiment? That one's great. Some of their best work.
It's fine. I mean, you know, Sontaran Experiment isn't bad.
It's more just the fact that the many times we watched it for that one review, which we never recorded.
I kind of passed that now, though. But they've written some right stinkers and some very, like at their best, usually they're very fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth Doctor, man. This is a big one.
Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah. That's your absolute favourite.
Yes.
I need to watch that one again.
It's so good. It's so good. God, creepy lighthouse setting, kind of the cramped environments. Gosh, I can go on about it, but it's wonderful. Like, I was one of the later ones I watched. Like, I actually haven't technically finished watching all Tom Baker's. It was later on. Like, I only watched it like a year or two ago, I think. At this point, I remember because like it wasn't long after that I actually went to, which was like when I met Tom Baker and Louise James and got it signed by them. I just remember it was not long before that, and it was just like I was blown away the first time. Like I heard good things about it, but like the moment I sat there and watched it, I didn't know. It was it blew all my expectations. It's utterly love it.
Banging.
Utterly love it.
Oh man. Oh, I don't know for this one. I mean, Pyramids of Mars is a classic.
That's right up there too for me.
Robots of Death is a great story. Really love Robots of Death. Ark in Space is obviously very good as well.
Yeah. Genesis of the Daleks.
Terror of the Zygons is very fun. A lot of good. More in these earlier seasons.
Though City of Death is
excellent. Is an excellent one towards the end, but most of his others towards the end. I say stick. If you're going to do Tom Baker, you want the best of Tom Baker, go to the start of his era. That is
the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If he'd stopped then, he would have definitely hands down had the best era of all the Doctors in all time. But I always find it dips towards the end, but that was, different.
Well, I find no, it dips in the middle. It dips very hard.
Oh, it peaks a bit at the end, yeah. Logogopolis is great.
Yeah, I think his final season is an improvement over what was before, although there is certainly a quality to the season before that because of Douglas Adams' editing.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, watching the Doctor in that whole season is enjoyable. Like, even if the episodes are a bit all over the place, really.
Very strange. Shadow is good with the animation finish.
Shada's very strong,
if you're gonna watch Shada,
actually.
You have to have the animation, because I never got why everyone loved it until the animation. And then the story just came together a bit more. I was like, this is a good story.
I enjoyed the 8th Doctor webcast I used to watch of it.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Because they redid it with the 8th Doctor in the role, and I enjoyed that. But...
Cool. Right. 5th Doctor. I mean, the classic Caves of Androzani, probably his strongest story being his last.
Yeah. Yeah,
What a way to go
easily.
out.
Yeah, that'd be his strongest story for me.
Earthshock and The Visitation are also very good stories, I would say.
Jeez, in my whole top 50 for, I've literally only got the Case of Androzani and Earthshock in the top 15.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
a lot of people think Case of Androzani is like top. I don't quite find that for me, but it's certainly an excellent story.
I think, it also depends on when you watched it. If
True.
you watched it when you were a kid and that was like, that would have blown you away. That would have been, our level of like watching Parting of the Ways.
True.
Ooh, okay, here we go. Sixth Doctor. That's where it gets interesting.
Ooh.
I would say Vengeance on Barrows. I think it's actually a really good story, and it's about like TV, a bit like, yeah. I really love Vengeance on Barrows. I remember I got the special edition not long after it came out on a bit of a whim, and I remember I watched it. And I was like, damn, that was actually like, I really had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Syl is amazing.
Yeah,
So much so
I
they
couldn't
brought
get
him
into
back.
that quite as much as you did. I just find it a bit odd.
It is,
I mean,
it's a
I know
weird
it's supposed to
dystopian,
be,
yeah.
but yeah, I found it difficult to kind of get into
That's fair.
personally. But I understand. It's certainly a unique story.
Yeah, if you want something slightly different, a bit like, and if you're kind of into like government, rising up against the government kind of stories, then Vengeance on Varys is definitely one for you. Yeah, it's only 2 45 minutes and a very fun villain.
I had to scroll quite far down to find the Sixth Doctor. Actually, I ranked at 63. Attack of the Cybermen.
There we go. Very good story as well. Very violent.
It is.
Yeah, what a way to open up the season after the very awful Twin Dilemma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, Seventh Doctor. Woohoo.
Remembrance of the Daleks.
Yeah, easily his strongest one. However, Greatest Show in the Galaxy is a very good story. I enjoy Battlefield a lot.
Yeah, I like Battlefield a lot too.
Cuts of
Happiness Patrol.
Solid. Happiness Patrol's quite good. Bit strange though. But yeah, probably Remembrance of the Daleks is the one you want to watch. And then obviously the TV movie for the Eighth Doctor.
No, Eighth Doctor Time War. Listen to Big Finish, guys.
That's not on Big Box. But yeah, all right. So Ninth Doctor.
Yeah, but I don't like the TV movie though.
What would you go for ninth?
Battle Parting of Ways.
See,
do you want me to choose one or the other, or?
I would say, while those two are good, I feel you need the build-up. And if you're just dropping in, I'd just say Dalek. I would say
it's an exceptionally strong one.
Dalek is so solid. Do you know it's crazy that originally could have just been called Robot and just been enough a robot if they didn't get the rights
when it
to
didn't have the
Dalek?
license. Yeah,
Crazy, isn't it? How much of a difference that would have made. I guess in some ways it would have been good because they would have had to make up a new arch enemy that wasn't the Daleks. Like something which rose up even stronger than them.
Yeah. It was kind of late though that they even announced the Cyber. It was pretty late on in because they announced the series in 2003, and I think it was quite late on that year that they actually announced the Darks were even coming back.
Crazy.
Actually, I saved a JPEG when I was browsing through old Doctor Who news sites, which is Episode 8, the feature for Daleks.
Episode 8. What was Episode 8? The Father's Day.
States that the Episode 8 will be written by Rob Sherman, will involve a lone Dalek which will be loose on a space station, apparently.
Not too far off, to be fair. That's not too bad. Maybe originally it was Episode 8, and they moved it to Episode 6. Interesting. Right, 10th Doctor, who would you say? What would you say? A lot of choice, a lot of good choice.
Waters on Mars.
Damn it, stop saying mine was. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Well, the one below that I've got is Human Nature Family of Blood, which is...
Yeah, those are definitely his two strongest stories. But yeah, Waters on Mars is so bloody good. Still gives me the creeps now. Graham Harper, obviously, excellent director.
Which is just... I mean, it's not even just about the base under siege, even though, it's clear that's exceptionally better written and well, like, I mean, it felt like it had a fairly higher budget than most of the era, I think, as well. I think that helps, but it's just how thought-provoking the ending is more than anything. Like how it leaves you. I think is the more why this episode is so well remembered. Like, most of it is exceptionally strong, but it's a whole moral dilemma the Doctor goes through and his conclusions to that and how he reacts is what makes the story an absolute classic.
I think this story is better than Blink. I think,
yeah, easily.
I think
easily.
This is always way more scary than Blink, Waters of Mars. Because the thing is, you know all the jump scares in Blink, and after you know, and it's still a bit like, oh, that's terrifying. Never hits you quite the same. I would love to be able to watch Blink for the first time again, though.
Yeah.
Because I remember that the bit where he looked away and looked back and it was right in his face. That was terrifying. I can still kind of feel it a bit, that bit. And that's the one, but because I know it now, it's like, it's still a fantastic story. That's not me taken away from Blink.
Yeah,
just in terms of like rewatching it, the threat always is there. In Waters of Mars, the threat is always there.
Yeah, it does hurt it a lot for me, to be honest, that that's why I don't quite rank it as high. It's certainly not as much as some people make it out to be.
Yeah.
But, you know. Also, shout out. I mean, I mentioned Human Nature Family Blood, which is exceptional as well.
Yeah.
Also, shout outs to Turn Left and Midnight.
Oh, Midnight's fantastic as well.
Midnight's wonderful.
Not one to watch in isolation, though.
Funnily enough, yeah, the two of the ones with only him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then one without him.
Yeah, one with and one without. Okay, Matt Smith. Interesting.
Ooh.
Does he? He doesn't really have any super standout ones, does he? I'd say he has a lot of good, but none where I'm like, this is my favorite Matt Smith.
Yeah, not an absolute classics, really. I think the highest I got is Vincent and the Doctor.
That one's good. I would say The Doctor's Wife. That always hits me right in the feels.
That's a little bit. I think I find that a little bit further.
The whole dialogue with the TARDIS is just so lovely. Those are the scenes I live for. That idea was just fantastic, bringing the TARDIS into a human body, and the Doctor being able to talk to it was just a gorgeous, gorgeous idea.
It's weird to start with, but then once you kind of get it,
I would have loved to have seen David Tennant's Doctor talk to his TARDIS. Or the Ninth Doctor. Like, it's a story I'd love to see every other Doctor in and see how they responded to it. Imagine William Hartnell meeting the TARDIS. Like, it would be such a... Like, it's the one episode that I'd love to see every single other Doctor in, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like stories like Waters of Mars. Like, imagine the second Doctor in that. I always love to, like, take a Doctor out of one episode and put him in another. And just seeing how would they cope.
What if he spoke? What if the third Doctor spoke to the TARDIS in the first half of his era? You just get like a confused TARDIS without spouting gibberish and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's broken. I mean, it's the chameleon circuit that's broken, not the consciousness.
Not the chameleon circuit. Well.
Oh, the chameleon circuit is broken, but the what's it called? What do they call it? Something circuit. I know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, navigation. Yeah. Well, because it was in the Three Doctors, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, 12th Doctor, Heaven Sent, easy. Oh no, actually, World Enough and Time.
No, World Enough and Time, Doctor Falls for me. It ranks as my favourite.
I guess Hellbent kind of sadly slightly drags Heaven Sent a bit down, doesn't it? It's always that slight
little bit.
That slight tinge, like a creased corner, slightly. Yeah.
I tried to separate them out.
Yeah.
So I've got like on this ranking, I got World Enough and Time, Doctor Falls, I got like 4th, and then Heaven Sent's 14th, just on its own. I didn't add Hellbent to that because otherwise it would be a lot lower.
And I guess got to do 13th Doctor.
I think it like at number. It was low.
At the minute.
Hang on.
Can You Hear Me might be my favourite so far.
I
I did like Ascension.
Yeah. I had 2 in the top 100, but at the very, very bottom. Yeah, can you hear me? I got 91.
I do like.
Oh no, it dropped. No, never mind. No, never mind. Just that one. It's the only one in the top 100. Yeah.
I like
Can you hear me? And then, like at 103, 104, I've got Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. But
I don't like that one as well.
yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, for me, the strongest.
I think it was the most that felt
Jodie's
like
era.
Yeah, proper classic. But,
Yeah, and it added interesting stuff to the world of Doctor Who.
So what is the top?
It did some interesting sci-fi concepts. It felt like the pacing was right. It was a deep, it was an interesting threat.
It was a good 45 minutes.
It was. I guess that's all you can ask for.
So what is in your top?
What's
top
my
10?
top 10?
What's your top 10 in your list out of interest?
Just the top 10.
Just the top 10. We're not going to do all 100 and something.
Okay. So currently, I've got Tomb at number 1, and again, that's some nostalgia. I am evaluating that because it's like, should I really put it at the top? But no. For the moment, it's at the top. And then Battle of Parting of the Ways, Remembrance of the Daleks, World Enough and Time, Doctor Falls, Horror of Fang Rock, Waters on Mars, Spearhead from Space, Pyramids of Mars, Human Nature, Family of Blood, Genesis of the Daleks.
Solid, yeah, very solid top. I need to, eventually I plan, maybe during my final year, when I'm, when I'm away here from London, back home, I might watch them all through. It was
just an interesting exercise. I mean, it's...
Well, no, I'd want to watch them through and then rank it, and then just
from there
do like an Excel document or something, and then order it. Then in terms of, oh no, because then sometimes if I give it the same number, then it's all just going to go in alphabetical order. Probably, I'd need to work out a system.
Yeah,
but basically, do it by episode. So I'd be like, okay, here's Unearthly Child. Daleks is better than Unearthly Child.
That's how I was doing.
Edge of Destruction, would I put that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was doing. I wasn't worried about like what if this good story is like 150 because like the stories above it deserve to be above it. That's kind of how I had to think about it. I can quickly do bottom 10 as well.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So 249 is Time in the Rani.
That's
250. Sorry.
So that's the very bottom, or?
No, that's the 10th from bottom.
Oh, 10th from bottom. Time and Rani's 10th from bottom. There's 9 worse than Time and Rani. Jesus.
For me, yes.
Wow. Okay.
250 is Time Lash.
Okay, that's fair.
251 is Death to the Daleks.
Whoa. Okay.
252 is Warriors of the Deep.
Okay, yeah, that's bad.
253 is Orphan 55.
Yep, no, that was shite.
254 is Paradise Towers.
That was such a disappointment.
It's so bad.
I was really excited by the concept, so when it was rubbish, it just made me sad. I only watched it once. I need to watch it again.
It's just such a... Like, all I can figure out is the grey corridors, and that's it.
That's what I remember, the gangs and the weird crab in the pool.
It was not good.
Okay.
Anyway. 255 is The Creature from the Pit.
Okay.
256 is The Invasion of Time.
Vision. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a weird... Yeah.
No. 257 is The Dominators.
Yeah.
258 is Underworld.
God, that was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. And at the very bottom of my list, at 259, is The Mutants.
The Mutants?
Yes.
Wow.
That is my least favourite story, period. It is so boring. It is... Like, if I think back in my mind, it's just it's like the least invested I think I've ever been in any TV story ever. Period.
I think I remember watching.
There's just nothing to it. It's just nothing. It's a void. Like, at least Underworld has stuff to like laugh at and like, that was bad. Look at the green screen. Mutants has nothing. It's just caves.
Because it looks
just
well made. So
dark creatures in caves. It's no, it's so bad. Like
There we go. So it's the ones to dodge, audience.
I guess so.
Dodge that. Anyway, we're going to wrap up there. Thank you, Conrad, for sharing your very intricate list with us just now. That was
well, we can just go for over the other 200.
Nope. So, hopefully we'll have some more, more stuff to talk about next week. So, yeah, we're going to try and keep this weekly, do different kind of topics. Feel free to ask us questions below. And, we might use that as a topic for next week's podcast. So, thank you very much for listening. Subscribe and hit that bell notification. I'm going to do all the YouTube babble crap which everyone else says. Like it, dislike. I don't care. Just not. Just do nothing. Be
your own person.
Make up your own. This week we're
bringing it back.
We're sponsored by the freedom to do what you want.
Gosh, you remember when we tried to force that to be a thing? Like where I would be at the end of every episode and go like, or not, you don't need to follow it, like, whatever's... And I'd always fail at it, and then we gave up.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That's probably why we forgot. Because it was bad. Yeah.
It was bad.
It was bad, yeah. Yeah, right, well, we'll see you next week.
I'll ponder that.
Catch you later, guys. Bye!
Bye!